Hi, Leah.
Hi, Kamna.
How are you
Wh-
doing?
I'm great. I'm watching the snowfall outside and I got my hat on because I'm cold. Other than that, I'm ready to get this podcast started. How about
It
you?
is it is a mess outside, um, and it gives me time to be alone, which I like. But it also, for me in my mind, sometimes when you want to be away from people and their opinions, this is a nice
Mm,
day to like snuggle up in a blanket and just put your worries to the side.
I like that. Snuggle up in a blanket. So you will enjoy the snow today.
I will now that I don't have to go anywhere else.
I know. Exactly.
But we
Yeah.
are talking about uh, it's none of their business.
No one's business. I love
Mhm.
it. I didn't know which way to go with this topic, so it was
It's
interesting.
It's funny because I was telling you that I have a lot of stories. And
Yeah.
so for me, I have so many examples of where people feel like they should give me their opinion about something that I'm
I
doing.
I mean, I probably have too. I hope in my head that I just have blocked them out.
Well, I think there's a difference of the opinions, you know,
Okay.
but we'll get into that a little
All
bit.
right. All right. Before that, though, we have to talk about our call to actions, right?
Yes. And I was successful. I got an A
Good
this week.
for
Yes.
you.
I
Tell me.
I was supposed to do two things. One was call the dentist's office.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I did. I called the dentist's office. They have not called me back, but it's that
Did you
time
just
of
call them
year.
yesterday?
No, I called them last week.
Then you should call again.
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
But it is the holidays, so it's
No,
all right.
no, you're too nice.
Um, and then the second part of my call to action was to incorporate some jogging into my treadmill time.
And
So I would walk for four minutes, and then the fifth minute I would run. Well, jog, not really run. It wasn't that fast, let's be honest. But I actually kind of
a
liked it. It
slog,
made
a slow jog, a
oh
slog.
yes.
That's what I
Well,
caught.
I like that.
Okay, go on.
I was slogging along.
There you go. So
But
you did
it
it?
made my workout go really fast, honestly, because I was keeping track of the time of when
Mm.
I would need to start my slog. So it was just
So
fun.
did you do your jog for like 1 minute
I jogged for 1 minute,
and then you would walk for three,
four,
five, 4?
4 minutes. Yep.
Okay.
hmm
You
It was really good.
What's interesting is you were watching the time, but it made it go faster. And that's very much not what you would think. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Because
it's
usually
very
when you're watching the
counterintuitive.
time, thank you, that's the word I was looking for. Because when I normally watch the clock, it's like torture.
hmm
Hmm.
I was watching the time and it was sort of like, oh, I have only 10 more seconds and then I can walk. So it was
So
kind of
are you going to
nice.
do it again?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Hopefully I can increase my time that I run or slog, but we'll see.
So, all right. So one more question. How do you feel now after doing it?
I feel good. I feel
Do
strong.
you?
I'm a little
Good.
sore in my legs and my butt, but I feel good.
Good for you.
Mhm.
Will you do it outside?
No.
Not anytime soon, I meant.
Well, I won't do it outside only because I can't keep track of the time as well.
Okay.
I
I think
feel
they have
like
apps for that, don't they?
I know, but I feel like that's a lot
Oh,
of work. I have like a
I know.
million apps already on my
Oh my
phone.
God. And let me tell you, I agree 100%. When anybody's like, you have to get this app, I'm like, I'm out. I'm out. I got too many. I don't even want to do another app.
Yeah, I need to go and clean my phone. When I'm sitting somewhere, I'll just go through and
That's
delete
a
some apps.
great call to action for anybody listening.
I might take that.
Yeah,
How was your
I
call to
know.
action this week?
I really didn't do it. I'm not, I thought of it and I intended to do it. And then I don't know if I just didn't have a good enough schedule or a good enough routine this week,
What was
or I
your
had
call to action?
too many other things. My call to action was to really go down, do my, it was like a million things. Maybe it wasn't specific enough. I think that's actually now what I'm thinking of. Because it was like I was going to figure out why I was not sitting down in the morning and coloring in my little chart, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I was supposed to then go, well, if I'm not doing that, then when can I do it today?
Mm-hmm.
I think it was too much.
Too much or too broad?
Both.
Oh, okay.
I think
So
it was too much.
if you were to revise it, what would you say?
If I was to revise it, I would probably do just the coloring in the morning. I wouldn't
Okay.
worry about doing the next step and figuring out when I can get the stuff in. Because I want to say that that was my excuse on why I just didn't do it. Because I was like,
So
I don't have time. I would just say, like, I don't have time. I have time to color it, but I don't have time to sit down and go, all right, when can I fit this in?
the coloring you're talking about is reference to your sheet
Yeah,
to you can color it in once you've gotten that task done.
right.
And your tasks are like arm exercises, I remember.
Arm exercises, 10-minute chair exercises, weighing myself every day, my water before my coffee, and there's something else I can't remember. Stretching.
So are you saying that you were unable to get those things done this week?
I didn't do all of them every day, but I did a lot of them every day.
Oh, well, that's good.
Right. But I didn't even color it because I didn't want to sit there and go, all right, well, when can I figure out why I didn't get that in? Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Do I make sense or am I just
Yeah,
rambling?
so you made it kind of too difficult for yourself.
Yeah, I did.
So then when you didn't accomplish it, you were feeling disappointed.
Because I was like, oh, I don't want to have to do the work and figure out why I didn't do my arm exercises and when I can do them tomorrow.
Yeah, it's the tomorrow problem.
Oh, what a perfect problem to have for that last week's episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess I did it decently. I didn't do it good enough, I don't think. I'm disappointed in it. Say that.
Well, maybe you need to create, as you said, more specific call to actions, but also
Mhm.
a little bit more limited in its scope. Like if you wanted to track and color and then also figure out when and why, maybe that's too much.
It's way too much. It is way
Yeah.
too much, especially for this time of the year.
Hmm.
So I got to figure that out, but
Yeah, there's too
we'll
much
work
happening
on
right
it.
now.
Yeah. Well, I'm still doing some of this stuff, so I think that's important.
Yep.
So, anyway, all right. Are we jumping into this topic?
I think we should.
All
So
right, let's do it.
the first thing, excuse me, the first thing I looked up was it's none of their business. And there's all
Mhm.
kind of music and things, but it's an idiom that is used to say that something is private information and should not be asked about.
That's interesting. That word private.
Hmm.
Interesting. Because I don't know if it's all private,
No,
but
not all,
yeah,
but
right,
why you eat something or why you're wearing something or why you're going
right.
somewhere or the stuff that people feel like I can give my opinion about that
I know. Ugh. I'm, by the way, in full disclosure, before we start this, I'm sure I'm guilty of this a lot
of giving your opinion.
of giving unsolicited advice, which is really how the direction I took for this topic was it's no one's business. And when they do give you their opinion, it's usually unsolicited advice.
Well, this is where I was in the beginning. I think there's two directions this could go.
Okay.
And one is like if you're worried about me, say for example, you're worried about my cough, right? And you're
Uh-huh.
going to say, please go to the doctor because I think you need to get treated. You're saying this out of concern. You're not chastising me. You're not admonishing me. You're just saying, please take care of yourself.
Right.
On the other hand, if you were to say, uh, yeah, I don't know why you wear your hair like that. That just doesn't really look good and it doesn't suit you and it makes your face
Mhm.
look all fat. Then I would say that's kind of not your business how I want to wear my
That's
hair.
different. Yeah. That's,
I
I mean, yeah. I mean, yes, you're right. There's no if, ands, or buts about it. There are two different things you can do.
well, clearly I did something very extreme, but I'm just saying like
Yeah.
sometimes people give unsolicited advice out of concern or care. And on the
Yeah. But
other,
that also is a fine line too.
oh, really?
Yeah, I think so.
What do
Because
you
I
mean?
could say, let's just say I was like, you need to go to the doctor because I know you have X, Y, or Z disease. And when I had it, or you know what I mean? Like, I think that unsolicited advice caring is, I think you need to go to a doctor because you've been coughing for a while,
Right.
period. When you go that extra mile where it's none of your business is when you are like, diagnosing you or telling you things that you don't really need to know. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Or you should take this medicine or this medicine or this medicine. Like that's none of your business what medicine. How do
Yes.
I know that you can't have red dye 40, which is in every single cough medicine out there? Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, so there's a fine line between, which is where I'm telling you I'm guilty of it. Cause I know I've said before, like, I swear that pineapple, eating fresh pineapple helped my cough.
I ate some last night.
Did it help you at night?
I don't know, but I slept very well. So maybe,
Oh my God, it's
maybe.
the pineapple.
Oh, I
Anyway,
should go get some. If it wasn't snowing, I'd go get some. How do you think that people offering their unsolicited opinion, or maybe even solicited, but offering their opinion affects us with our weight or with our health, or what's your
okay.
opinion?
So my opinion in general, before I did any research, let me just say was my gut reaction was anger. Like
Oh,
I
okay.
feel like when somebody gives me unsolicited advice, I get angry. Period. That's it. I don't get like I don't think I usually listen to them. I think I get angry. But then I did some research on it, and there's actually like a unsolicited advice loop, I guess you could call it, or like a flow
Oh,
chart.
okay.
So let's say I give you unsolicited advice. Then what that does to you is it leads you to second guess yourself. So
Mm-hmm.
let's take the cough analogy. So now you're going, guess I am coughing more than I thought like you're now second guessing yourself,
Mm-hmm.
which then leads to more self-doubt for you. And
Yes.
then you now lead to decreased self-worth.
Okay.
It's an entire scientific formula when we're receiving unsolicited advice. It's what your brain goes through.
Hmm. That's very interesting. So there is a connection between people giving you their opinion
Uh-huh.
and the way we feel about ourselves,
Yeah.
and
Right.
therefore what we do next.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because if you don't
So
feel good
my
about yourself, then you're gonna do
mhm.
not so good behaviors.
So a great example is I forever have had people give me weight loss advice. Forever. Forever. I mean, not forever, but for at least 15 years, including my husband.
Are you really
Everybody.
serious?
Everybody's always like, this is what you should do, or have you tried this or that? Always. And my first gut instinct is angry. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Do you not talk to me? Do you not know what I've done with for my job for how many years? Right. And then I saw this whole thing, and I think I do go through that
So
cycle.
someone
I
says to
think,
you, here's a tip for you, it's guaranteed for you to lose weight.
yeah.
And then your next thing is to be defensive and
I second guess myself. I go, maybe I am talking. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know. Maybe they're right. Maybe they're right. They must see something in me that I don't. Or they must like that's what I do. I start doing that. And then I give myself more doubt and I'm like, well, I haven't lost weight in a while. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about.
mhm.
And then I go down to that decreased self-worth. Like, maybe I'm not good at this.
I'm still stuck at people giving you unsolicited weight loss advice.
Mm-hmm.
I'm shocked by
Oh,
that.
it just happened last week.
Really?
Yes, at
Can you
work.
share the story?
Somebody came in and was started to tell me all about how what sugar is and this new like you shouldn't have sugar and if you want to be on a sugar detox this is what you need to do and I wanted to just say thank you I know all of this but I just zipped it and then again I was like do I not I don't know then I start doubting myself.
That's so interesting that, I mean, I think it's human nature to doubt ourselves, but why wouldn't we say this is about more about their insecurity than it is about us?
Yeah, that's really where we should be doing what we should be doing is going this is about them,
Right? Because if
right?
someone is saying, oh, here's some great advice and it guarantee to lose weight, maybe they feel like it's a reflection on what they need to do.
Maybe.
I have several examples for
I
this
know.
topic.
I'm pausing it. Okay, yeah. Go ahead. Tell me some of your examples.
So there was a couple of them that happened recently. One was I was out to lunch with a bunch of ladies, and when I order, it's always a little particular because of the whole I don't eat meat, so I have to modify everything. And especially if it's in like a pub type of a place or, where that's their main thing is meat. So I
Yeah.
have a lot of modifications to do. So I was the last person to order at this luncheon. And right before I ordered, someone's like, no fish and no this and no fried and no this. And then they're like mocking a little bit. And so then I ordered and then they started
See, no,
laughing.
wait. I get mad. I get mad for you.
Yeah.
So go on. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, go on.
So then I said, can I have the salmon salad, but no salmon? And then can I have the dressing on the side? And like I have a lot of modifications. And I'm also a picky eater, which I own. I am picky. I don't like raw onions and I don't like this and I don't whatever. Um, so then the lady next to me, she goes, "No fish?" And I go, "Well, I don't eat that."
Right.
And I was starting to feel that agitation, like,
Yes.
why are you saying anything about my plate? I just don't.
All right. So why do you think people do that?
I think the one lady thought she was trying to be funny and cute
But
because
do you think she was trying to
there were
be funny?
several other vegetarian slash vegans at the table, and they were also having the same issue. So they had to modify what they ordered. But this is the way we of our life, right?
Right.
We live with this, and this is the choice we make. We don't want to consume that, so we modify to the best of our ability. But people are like, "Oh, just take it off." I had a meal come to me this many years ago, and I think I had ordered just pasta. And it came with meatballs. And I said, I'm sorry, I can't eat this. I need a new plate. I can't just have it taken off.
Right.
The juice is in
Right.
the
Right.
so they brought it back and it looked like they had literally just taken
Just
it
picked it
off.
up. Hmm.
So I didn't eat it. And the people next to me are like, what's the big deal? Just eat it. It's not, it's good. I'm sure they replaced it. And I said, you could tell that they didn't. But then they are judging me for not
Yeah.
eating it.
That comes down to people aren't putting themselves in other people's shoes enough.
Hmm.
Like there's no compassion or empathy there. Like I
Yes.
think like I understand like for me because I'm not a vegetarian, I can say just pick it off. But for you when the meat is when it's cooked in it or in it's there, like that's different and we're not that's the thing. We are not putting ourselves in people's positions
Yeah.
enough. Like I'm not the whoever's making fun of you needs to sit at that table and imagine for a second that they had to make pick something on the menu that they couldn't have three things. How would that make them feel?
Yeah.
We're not doing that enough
Right.
is as a human race and I'm guilty of it as well. But like that's the problem with a lot of this is like we need to realize that there are like put yourself in that position. Like what if you couldn't have fish because you were allergic to it? And then you couldn't
Right.
have cheese.
Right. Right.
I just yeah.
And the issue that I have is if I was allowed obnoxious, not obnoxious, but a loud person with my ordering and I was
Right.
in everybody's face with it, I could say, okay, I'm inviting that kind of criticism. But I'm quietly minding my own business, studying the menu for what needs the least amount of
Right.
asks.
Oh, I'm sure you are.
I'm
Yeah.
quietly doing that. I'm not bothering anybody, so I don't really need your opinion.
No.
This happened a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, I really just don't know how to handle this. In that we went to someone's house for dinner, and she laid out some appetizers, and it was very nicely, very pretty plate. And I took some, and when they hear that I'm a health coach, they're like, "Oh my God, you won't eat anything here, right?" I'm like, "No, I don't make a big deal about anything." And then they asked me what I would like to drink, and I said water. And it's always like, "Oh, not even a glass of wine?" And I said, "No, I'm good with water." Actually, then I have to feel like I need an excuse. Like I rather eat my calories than drink them. So I have to give an explanation. I think you can have
Mm,
half a glass of wine. And I don't have an objection to it. And I have had it, but why all the pressure?
I know.
And then, so we're getting to, she had more appetizers and it was a lot of gluten items. So I was just standing there quietly again, not bothering anybody. you're not going to eat anything, are you? I'm so afraid. I made all this food and you're not going to eat anything. And I said, no, it's great. I'm enjoying, and I tasted a little bit of something from my husband's plate and I'm like, it's really good. And then we had dinner and she goes, look, you're not eating anything. There's nothing on your plate. And I go, no, I'm eating. I'm quiet. So I'm eating and done before people are finished because I'm listening to the conversation more than I'm talking.
Mm,
But I was just like, it went on until dessert was finished.
that's on her. That's her insecurities.
How though? To explain that to
For
me.
for sure. Like the whole time you were talking, I wanted to interrupt you 50 times and tell you that. That's on her. She actually feels so guilty that she didn't ask everybody or what they're or else she's thinking, "Oh my God, I should have known this. I should have asked what's a good thing to make. I should have." That's on her. Like this is her insecurities coming out, in my opinion.
I agree, but I'm not if there's plenty of things that I cannot eat, I won't say a single word. I'm not going to bother anybody. I didn't tell her
Yes.
ahead of time. That's on me. I'm not blaming
Yes.
anybody. It's on
And
me.
I think I would feel bad as well. I don't and I'm glad you're telling me this because I think that I will tell you my mom would be the same way. She'd be like, "Is there anything can I make you something different? Can I?" Like my mom would be the exact same way and I think I would be too. But I like that you're telling us because then it puts you in an uncomfortable position. You're like,
Well,
"Just leave me be."
one time is fine, two times is
Yeah,
still fine. But the whole evening, I'm like,
right.
okay, can
And
we
then it's
talk about
bringing
something
attention to
else?
you.
Yes,
Yeah, that's not fun.
in a way
Yeah.
that I don't particularly like.
Yeah. It's like, "Oh, you're I was gonna say you're the weird one. You got all these food things, but that's not
Yes, that's
but that's how
exactly
I'm
what it
assuming
is.
how you feel.
Yes. And I don't really want that kind of attention. I'd rather
No,
have
nobody
good.
does. Nobody wants to be the weird one that has all these things, you know?
Yes.
Um,
So you were telling me you had some
but
reasons why. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
but I'm trying to think, is that really unsolicited advice? No, it's not. It's none of their business on why you're
It's
not
none of
eating.
their business
Right. It's none of their business on why that you're choosing not to eat their appetizers.
or why I'm not having a drink or
Right.
I have to give explanations like, no, I'm the designated driver tonight, or I'm not. I just don't enjoy it. Gives me a lot of acid and I don't feel good. And I don't need to explain all of my medical history to people.
I know. You're right. It's none of their business. But again, yeah. Anyway, what were you gonna say?
It just gets me defensive. I was going to
Oh
ask
yeah,
you, um, were you researched some of the whys, right?
yeah. I did. I researched some of the whys, and I really wanted to know like why we do it. And by the way, I'm 100. I will tell you for 100% certainty. I've done it to my sister Michelle. Like I
Okay.
know I've been at my mom's house and like I've looked at her food plate and I'm like, why aren't you eating the I don't know. Let's just say it was meat or whatever. You're not eating any of that. Why? I don't understand, like, why it's good. I've done it, and I think she's even called me out on it, which I'm glad for. But I know I've done it, and
Are
I
you
think
asking because of concern or
no,
then
no, I
why are
think
you?
I'm asking because I feel guilty that I'm eating it and she's
Oh,
quote unquote being good and I should be doing good too.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
In certain situations like that, I'm probably going, well, why isn't she eating it? I want someone to be bad with me. Do you know
Okay.
what I mean?
I love that. I love that honesty.
I mean, I would bet that's probably why I do it in all cases. Like, let's say you were here and I grabbed, like, let's just say there was a bunch of bakery and I took two cookies and you didn't take any. I'd be like, why aren't you having a cookie? Just have a cookie. Because then I feel better about myself that I'm having two cookies. Is you at least better have one cookie. But really,
Yeah.
it's none of my business why you're not having a cookie.
Well, and on the flip side, if I'm not having any and I'm not saying anything to you, there is no need for you to feel embarrassed or shame or defensive
I
about your
know,
choices.
but I do.
Interesting.
Don't you? You don't?
No, I probably do, but I'm because I've received this so much, I'm very
Yeah.
mindful of saying things to people. I think for food and drink, I try not to. If it comes to exercise or like cleaning up, I'm definitely judgmental. Why can't
Mm,
you? It just takes 5 minutes. Why can't you make your bed or why can't you clean up? It just takes 2 minutes. I
mhm.
definitely offer that kind of opinion when it comes to
Yeah,
I think people should be doing.
that's true. I do too. Wow, you mentioned the gym, and when you were talking about the gym, I immediately was like, wow, I can't tell you how many times I've seen people try to help other people in the gym. I do. I see it a lot. And it's like, that's one of those where it's like, do they want help or do they not want help? And at the same time, it's like, no, just butt out. It's none of their business. It's none of my
Oh,
business. Right?
well, I mean, it's a tricky one, but I think if someone
It
is
is.
in the gym working out and you're like, well, you're lifting that wrong. You might want to correct it and do it like this. And you're not a trainer or somebody who works at the gym, they're going to say, I'm not coming back.
I know.
I don't need to be here.
Right.
And they're going to stop working out.
I'm gonna be embarrassed that
Yes.
I would be more like I would be like if you came up to me on the treadmill and you were like, when you're on the treadmill, you're I don't know, your foot is angled weird. I don't know, whatever. I think I'd be so embarrassed. I would not come back because I'd be afraid I'd see you again at the gym.
This happens at my bowling league. So
Okay.
I bowl and I love it. And I realized before I would say, you know what you're doing wrong because you bowl and you watch and you're like, you should throw it like this and your arm's gonna hurt if you throw it like this. We're here for fun. Nobody
Right.
needs my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody
Mm-hmm.
does.
Mm-hmm. That's why my kids get mad when we all go bowling as a family.
Really?
Because they're like, why does dad always try and tell us how to bowl? He doesn't know how to bowl. Or my father-in-law or mother-in-law, somebody's always trying to tell them how to bowl, and they're like, they're not professional bowlers, but yet they're
Right,
trying to tell me how to bowl.
right, right.
I would bet sports is another great example where people always give unsolicited advice.
Yes.
I
And
would
I
bet if
know,
I had a
yeah,
baseball bat and I was trying to hit a ball, there would be tons of people telling me how to hit it, and none of them are professionals in the slightest.
I know I've done this with my kids and when they took sports as a young child, like soccer or tennis, things that soccer I'm
Yeah.
not good at all, but I'm like, oh, you know what you should do? You
Yeah.
should do this.
Why do we do that? It's none of my business how you'd want to do it. I mean, unless I really know a way that's better, which I don't. But anyway, we went on another I was about to tell you why. So
Okay,
I
sorry.
really wanted to know why I do a lot of it, right? Or why
Yeah,
anybody. The one reason is if you're looking at somebody on the positive side of it is we genuinely are human and we want to be helpful.
right,
Like, I see something wrong. I do want to be helpful. And I do
right.
believe that for a lot of people. Don't you?
Yes. Yes, I think I was driving on the road today and one side of the road is closed, but the people who are coming, they don't know because the sign is not until way later. So they're having to turn around in the middle of the road because the road is closed. And I want to say, hey, turn around,
I
people.
know. Don't you? I
Because
know that feeling. You want
I
to be
just want
like,
to be, just
go
go. There's an
back.
accident.
Yes.
There's something wrong. Yeah.
Yes.
I want to be
We
helpful.
want
I
to help.
agree.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Another reason is we think we have the answers.
Oh, oh.
And I will say that the people that tell me about weight loss, they genuinely think they have the answers.
Okay, here's where I feel a little hiccup. If someone is
Okay.
giving you, Leah, weight loss advice, are they themselves fit?
No, they're doing it right now themselves.
But I don't know if this is a very precarious opinion I'm giving, but I don't know if someone like sometimes I question this about myself. I'm trying to work on my health, but do I have a right to give someone else unsolicited advice? Because I'm not at my optimum that I should be.
I know that's where we go to this down this unsolicited advice. It leads to decreased self-doubt,
Mm, yeah.
or more self-doubt, I mean.
So people are trying to be helpful, and then people think they
Hmm.
have the information.
They think they have the answers.
Hmm.
All right, then we go. Sometimes people are excited about a new find or a new thing,
Oh,
or this is new. Like that's another reason why, they butt in.
I like that one though. I
Yeah,
I think I'd like to share, or I want somebody to
right,
share with me.
right. Yeah,
Have
I
you
like that
tried
one
this
too.
app, or have you done this? I would like to know.
Hmm. We are trying to reduce our own anxiety.
Okay, explain this one to me a little bit.
So if I was giving you advice, I want to reduce my anxiety over the whatever it is.
Hmm. You think it helps?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know that it helps someone reduce their anxiety.
I don't know
Maybe
if it
they
helps
just,
them, but maybe
maybe
they
they feel
feel
like they
better
have
talking
company.
it out.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, and the other part is sometimes we don't know how else to help.
Right.
So if you were coming to me and you're like, and you were upset and you just need to lose so many pounds or weight or whatever, I don't, maybe I don't really know how to help you. So I'm going to offer you things that I think may help. Do you know what I mean? It's really
Yeah.
none of my business because maybe you were just telling me that what you're struggling with, but
That's a hard
maybe,
one though, because if you see someone upset about anything, the instinct is to make them feel better.
mhm,
Like, let me take some of this burden off of you. I want to make you
right,
feel better. I want to make you laugh. I want you to think about it differently. I just want it to be different for you. So I
yeah.
think it's very normal, to want to make people feel better.
I think so too.
I,
But it
yeah,
is one of the reasons why we do it.
yeah. I've had strangers say things to me, and I think none of
I know.
those
I want to
reasons
hear
could have.
more of your examples. I love them.
Was on a school trip, and there was one of the dads standing next to me, and we were in a Wendy's. And
Were you a parent on the trip?
yes, I was a parent on the trip.
Okay. Okay.
And one of the dads, he's a veterinarian. So we started this conversation, and he said, "Well, what are you going to order here? You're just going to order like lettuce?" And I hear that a lot, actually. Like, what are you going to eat? There's nothing here but lettuce for you. And I'm like, no. And then because he opened the door, I asked him a question. I said, you're a veterinarian. How do you justify eating meat? And then we had a whole discussion about that, which I won't tell you, but he's like, I don't understand how you can not eat meat.
Oh.
But if it's my belief, I should be allowed to sit with that, whatever that
Yeah.
means.
Right.
So I don't, and I'm not going to tell him, look, you shouldn't eat meat
Right.
for X,
Right.
Y, and Z reason.
However, there are vegetarians who do.
Hmm.
So there is
Yeah,
that both sides, by the way. There's both sides.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Interesting.
I don't know. I just have story after
So
story
was
after
he being,
story.
because I think, I'm not going to lie to you. I think if you and I went to McDonald's, I would probably say to you, what are you going to get? Because I
Uh,
would be intrigued.
I would get
And all right,
nothing.
that's probably not a good example, but like if you were and I were going somewhere, I would probably say, what are you going to get? Because I would be curious.
Oh, but that's different. Like we ask each
Yes,
other,
that's
right?
what I mean.
What are you
Right.
getting? I might get the same thing. Oh, I didn't see that on the menu. That's a different thing. But if you're standing there and saying you're only getting a salad, why don't you get something else? You don't have any
Yes,
protein on your plate.
that is none of your business why I'm only
Right.
getting a salad.
I mean, if I'm only drinking water, just mind your business.
Right.
I could have 100 reasons why. Maybe I have a problem.
I mean, that's the truth. It
Yeah.
is. Yeah, but I think when it comes to alcohol, that's a tough one because I think people want you to drink with them. They
Yeah,
don't want to drink alone.
I mean, I understand why, and I
But
understand it makes people have fun, but I'm choosing not to, and my choice should be okay.
again, we're not putting ourselves in your shoes. We're
Or it could
not
be
doing that
anyone's.
enough. Yeah, but that's what I mean. But yeah, we're not doing that enough.
Yeah.
Whenever we're even trying to give advice, we need to flip ourselves around and be like, okay, what if I was Kamna right now and I was sitting at this party and I didn't want to drink? Like, really, I don't think we're doing that enough.
We've been to, I think I've given this example before, cocktail parties like for work and stuff where they pass hors d'oeuvres, and I don't generally eat anything because I don't know what it is. And I can't
Right.
ask too many questions because it just seems odd. So I'm like, no,
Yeah.
thank you. And they're like, oh, you're not having any? You should really have it. It's really delicious. I'm like, no, thank you. It's
I
really
know.
hard, really hard.
Yeah. But reality is like if those passed me, I'd be like, no, I don't like that. I would just say it like that.
Hmm.
And then you don't
I
get anybody questioning you.
I need some of that confidence.
I'm like, oh no, I don't eat that. Or no, I don't like that. You know what I mean? Like if certain things have passed me and I'm like, no, I would never eat that. Like, but I wonder if there's a difference between that and like if I couldn't have it? Would I, is there a shame with that? Like, is it shame then?
I
Do I
don't
feel
have
ashamed?
I don't have shame. I don't want to make
No.
anybody else feel bad.
Oh,
It's your
okay.
choice. If you choose to partake of anything that I'm not doing, that's your choice. You might like to run
Yeah.
and I might hate it, but I don't have any right to tell you, look, Leah, you really shouldn't run. It's bad for your knees. It's bad for
I
your
know.
joints. What right do I have to say anything unless I'm your doctor? I don't know that I have a
Mm-hmm.
right. Or you've
It's none of
asked me,
your,
then that's
right.
a different.
You're right. It's really none of your business.
So how do we get over this?
Well, did you come up with any, did you have any tips? I
I
have a
have a,
couple.
okay, you tell me yours.
Well, one I really, really liked was to kill him with kindness.
Mm, what does that mean?
Like, if they're giving you advice and you really don't want it, just Garrett, like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. That is so sweet of you to care so much about me. I just,
Oh,
like that kind of
I kind of
way.
like that.
Yeah.
That's
That's so
very
sweet of
nice.
you to think of me when you were thinking of weight loss. And I really appreciate that you're telling me this information.
Hmm.
Like, kill them with kindness. The reason for that is they say it guarantees that they will be less likely to have follow-up comments.
Okay.
When you kill someone with kindness, you're there. I read that one, that part of it.
That's so funny to me. Let me
Like,
show
even
you
when it
up.
comes to bowling, like, even when, like, I was just thinking, like, oh my gosh, it's so nice that you think that you're can share all of your wonderful tips with me. Thank you so much. Like, and you are the best bowler. Like,
Yeah.
make it about them and make them have a great day then. Oh yeah, I am a good bowler. I don't know. Like,
Yeah. I really like this as a way to shut people up.
it it might work, right?
Yeah, I don't know why this tickled me so much. It just
Or,
did.
like, I'm trying to think of, like, when you have a plate full of food and somebody's like, "You're not eating more," or whatever, it's like, "Oh my gosh, this food was so like, just start bragging on the food.
Hmm.
Maybe that would help. I don't know.
Yeah.
Another one was decide if they mean well, because there's a difference between love and a stranger saying something to you.
Right. Right.
There's a difference between somebody you care for saying something and a stranger.
Well, that's where we started out. There's
Right.
a difference.
Yeah. Another one was don't take it personal. Just because it works for someone else doesn't mean it will work for you. Which
Right.
you and I have said that since the beginning. Like, we truly believe that there are more than one way to lose weight,
Right. Right.
you know?
And we see that
So
every
even,
day.
yeah, so even if I tell you, oh, this is what's working for me right now, don't take it personal. It's just that's one suggestion, you
Right.
know?
Right.
So
We've seen that where someone's like, this person cut out meat and they lost out 50 pounds. I'm like, can you cut out meat? And they're like, no, I will try, but I don't know if it's possible. But you
right.
get all pumped up from somebody else's suggestion.
Hmm.
Did
Yeah.
you have any others?
Well, the last one was staying optimistic because studies show being positive helps us stay healthier.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I
So,
like that. Mine were very similar. Take your time to respond.
oh,
And I think that's good because impulsively want to be like, just mind your business. Get
yeah.
out of my face. Number two, which I think you said is don't take it personally.
Hmm.
Number three, I think is similar to what you said, get out of the situation. So
Oh,
maybe deflect or move or,
yeah.
change the
That
topic.
definitely.
Know that you are not alone. And
Oh,
clearly, all my stories, people should feel they are not alone. Be
I
careful
bet you,
about,
I bet you even have more that you're just not sharing right now.
well, because we could be here for hours.
Oh,
Be
what
care-
was the other one?
be careful about retaliating and find a
Oh,
way to move forward. So I think it's all about what you said is also be positive, be in the right mindset that it's not about you. They're trying to be helpful or just share their excitement about something and
you know
then
what?
leave it at that.
We, you know what we didn't talk about was
What?
parenting advice.
Yes.
That's
Oh,
a tough one. It
that's
is
a
really,
whole,
yeah. Like, I I really hope I'm good at not giving parenting advice. I really think I try really hard not to, even though I want to sometimes. I mean, there are many times when a new mom will say something and I'm like, I know, man, I remember that. Like, because I want to so bad.
You want to give advice?
I want to give advice, but it's none of my business. Like your kid is your kid and it's different. Do you know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
Or if someone tells me a
Absolutely.
story about their kid, like doing this or that, I want to be like, well, da, 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 da. Like it's none of their business. My kid's completely different than every other kid.
Yeah. I think culturally it's a little bit different too. If you when I've been to India and then people will comment, the first thing is on your weight. So, oh, you looks like you've put on some weight. But then they bring out the snacks and they're like, well, you're not eating anything. You're like, you're confusing me. You just told me that I'm fat and now you want me to eat stuff.
So is it like not okay, but it's more normal to talk about weight
It's
gain there?
way more normal, but it doesn't mean that it feels good.
Does it feel good to people who grow up around it more?
I think it's more like you have thin skin, you're going to feel offended by everything.
Mm.
I'm like, yes, I do. Sorry.
But will they really say something to you
Hmm.
and they don't think twice about it?
Not even, they don't even blink.
Really?
Not,
But is it
no,
meant to be mean?
no, it's just observations. Like they
Hmm.
need to tell me their opinion and I need to listen to it.
Hmm. Like would
Anyway.
they say, "Oh, you have a lot more gray than the last time I saw you."
Oh, yeah.
I'm not saying that to you. I'm just
No,
saying that
that's
like
what, yes, that's a good example. That's true. I need to color my hair.
no, I didn't mean it. I didn't. I swear I didn't. It was
I'm
just
just
like
messing with you.
another example.
Yeah, of
Huh.
course.
That's interesting.
Yep.
Maybe it is a cultural thing too. So I don't know. It's a great topic and it's one that you really, I think everybody is guilty of doing. And it's something we need to remember
Something
that,
I have started doing that has really worked for me is if someone says, I really don't like carrots. So the initial reaction is, well, you know
oh
what
my
you should
gosh.
do?
Oh. Yeah.
You should broil them and then you should roast them and you should put them with this and you should make them like this. That's the natural inclination, right? So what I have started doing is asking a question in reference to the statement. And I'm not saying I'm good about it all the time, but
Give me an example.
why don't you like the carrots?
Mm.
What's unpleasing to you? And they might have a reason. Maybe it's too hard and maybe their teeth are sensitive. I don't know, whatever.
Mm.
I just in asking the question, I stop myself from giving that
Yeah.
opinion that's popping out of my mouth.
So that's your first defense is like to immediately say that then.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's a great idea is ask a question about it.
Yeah, yeah, it works for me.
It's a great tip. And
This
especially if
was,
it works, then yeah.
I really enjoyed talking about this topic. I don't know
I know, it
why.
was so fun. I feel like we laughed and we enjoyed it.
So, do you have a call to action?
Um, no. Do you have one?
I think I want to do something and I might have to wait till after the new year, but I'm going to try as much as I can until we get to that point when I'm back on routine. But I really want to eliminate dairy and gluten completely. I think it would help my cough. And I don't think I'm really doing a good job with it.
Both of them are
Yes,
affecting your cough or dairy
yes,
more than
both. And I
okay,
need to really, really be mindful and not eat the cheese that I love.
so are you gonna do that now or
I'm going to do it until the holidays and then I'm going to give myself a little bit of leeway. But
okay?
then once January 1 comes, I'm going to be hardcore back into it.
And if somebody's trying to give you opinions on things, too bad.
Well, if you want to hear me toot, I can eat some. Do you want?
Or
That's not
cough,
probably,
cough,
yeah.
cough, cough, cough.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah. So
okay.
that's
All
what
right. I
I'm going
know
to work on.
mine is just to track. I don't think I've been tracking grid enough. And I like tracking. I enjoy it for the data, so I need to get back to that.
Okay. I like it.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Simple,
make it simple
efficient.
and I'm gonna write it down right now. I'm gonna track.
I love it.
All right. We
Well,
will see you next week.
yes, have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.